I find it extremely important for me to be grounded or know who I am.
So, describe to me. So you moved on from there. You started doing like music videos for him, and then you moved in.
It's probably like about a year after meeting him, probably. Since I did the first music video.
And then you moved into going on tour with him. This is a big step for a lot of like young people or age. You know what I mean? How did you tackle this from a business standpoint and from just realizing you're going on a tour with an artist?
Okay.
Prepare for something like that.
So the first tour, it was definitely a learning experience, and every tour is like a learning experience. And like traveling and doing photography was something that I had never done before. And part of me wasn't really sure what he wanted out of the situation. So I was really kind of confused. But I said, all right, let me just, I understand concert photography, and at very best, I understand that he wants documentation of, his shows and videos. So it kind of started out with just me taking out my camera at every show, at showtime, and just, we're shooting stuff, getting videos at high points, just stuff for social. And with
So at this point you're doing both video and photos?
For him, yeah. But as time progressed and tours went on, and I kind of organically learned more about photography and just the advantages that you have traveling, is that I don't think I was doing as much, from the first tour, I was doing as much justice to the situation. Places that I was seeing, places that Protoje was, what he was doing, and just, because at this time I wasn't his creative director, I was just his photographer. But I started to see all these opportunities start to come up, and I was just like, yo, there's so many things that I'm ignoring by just taking out the camera at showtime. So starting to build up the story of what Protoje does, on the tour bus. And I remember even you said it to me sometimes that I tried to start off with a blog, but with the internet stuff with touring it's really hard. But I remember you saying, yo, you liked it. And a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot, but I got messages that, yo, I like that. And it stopped. So I started to realize how much people valued the story outside of, everybody gets the chance to see Protoje on stage.
Fresh content. I mean, you see that kind of stuff with international photographers covering, international artists. But to see, and you can relate to it from as a young person, as a person who loves concert photography myself, being able to see what happens overseas when they go over there and what are they doing outside of that stage, scene, when you're in the tour bus or at the hotel or meeting, doing interviews or whatever. You don't see that until until recently, you and a couple other like Puro, they've been starting to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or at least put it out there in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I started to see the value more in the non-stage stuff. So that is kind of and him too, he started to see that even his fan base, they gravitated to learning things about him. So in this process of starting to understand Protoje as a client and understand his clientele and what his clientele wanted, as I said, I organically wanted to create for him. I actually approached him and saying, yo, I want to be a creative director. His old creative director at the time had just left. So I was just like, yo, I want to fill this position. I know you personally, I understand your brand, and I feel like I'm fit and I understand multiple mediums to make all of them work together for you. Yeah, so that's how it kind of really went. Yeah.
All right, so you mentioned Protoje, you're talking about him, you mentioned as both a client and also as a friend. When it comes on to him as a client, or even any other artist that would come to you and say, yo Yannick, for argument's sake, I'm an artist, I'm Jik-Reuben, big DJ. Yo Yannick, I want you, come on tour with me. how do you, what kind of price, how do you price me? You know what I mean? Like, how do you price something like that? Seeing as though you're, you know, you're not just doing a one-off event, you're doing probably continuous filming and, you know, stuff like that.
Well, I'll be honest, pricing for like extended jobs like that, I would classify them as very complicated. It's hard to put one figure on what you're doing because there's a lot of variables that can be involved. I can give some examples. With me now, being Protoje's creative director, I'm somewhere. I still freelance, but I'm more of just freelancing for him. It's kind of like almost employed, but not like full time. So there are certain benefits that are given to me as being like a staple in his company. Such as like anybody would have to get this, but these are things that I have that would also detract from your cost, because I guess if you're saying I'm freelancing, I want all the money, you have to pay for these. Airfare is paid for, visas are paid for extended period of time. I'm also allowed to use these visas in third-party works. So if I have a US work permit, so I'm allowed to do other business ventures, like I have permission to do other bits. So if I want to go up and work for a bit, I can use that. So that in itself has an intrinsic value that you kind of have to, as freelancer, you kind of have to play with the cost. So when you have like airfare, you have XYZ, and you have also the fact that the band members need to be paid, and when you understand how the money comes in, that you kind of have to say, all right, this person is giving you continuous work over a period of time. There's a high amount of value that you get from the work, a lot of exposure, you get a lot of perks. I get to definitely meet people who have also given me work. So I can see the value to stuff, the how I'm perceived, because me personally, in terms of my skill, I wouldn't put myself high or over you. But to other people, because I'm associated with a brand like that, it may be perceived that way, and you can't necessarily put a value on that. So really, you try to, with touring, I guess you try to have a certain rapport. It's important for you to understand what 24 hours of your day is worth. So when someone gives you a figure and you say, all right, how many days will I be working for? You can compare. You can say, all right, if X DJ wants me to work for a month abroad with him, how much would I earn doing work from a month at home? And then you decide it. You put the pros and you put the cons and the benefits, and you see if it works out for you. So I don't really determine the price. I get a price, and I say this is fair, or I think this is not fair, and it is based on the time or what I can earn while being here. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah.
Tell me 3 things you've learned while being on tour, and those 3 things can be either, photography related, video related, or just life lessons.
3 things. All right, 3 things. 3 things while being on tour. Wow, there's so many. But let me
just list off the top.
But let me see if I can. I'm trying to find the most impactful 3. All right, probably the first one is, all right, you see when you're traveling, or you're going to be, I guess this would apply to probably anybody who has to work alongside others. It don't matter if you're traveling or not. But it is important to know who you are. This not going to sound corny, but I'm on tour, and I interface with a lot of people. You interface with a lot of people. You're on a bus with a band. You have a driver. You're going to a different venue every day. So you interact with a lot of people. I find it extremely important for me to be grounded or know who I am. it can be very easy in those conditions to lose yourself. And when I say lose yourself, it like probably becomes snappy or make people draw you out. It becomes very easy because it's not like you're going to bed at the same time every day. It's not like when you're hungry you can eat.
Yeah, you don't really have personal space.
Yeah, so a lot of your comfort zone, it becomes intruded on. And you see, if you're not really grounded or make a very mental effort to say, alright, I'm going to be grounded, it'll be easy for you to act out or things to happen to you. Yeah. Someone says something to you and you overreact to it or stuff like that. Or things permeate in your mind longer than it need to. So being on tour, it made me see the value of just being grounded and is in everything, you know, or what I've learned.
Let me change the question a little bit. So first lesson was on life. Second lesson I would want it to be geared towards photography.
Alright, with photography, I think like one of my favorite things about photography is that it's so subjective that, like, I guess when I approach photography, you see all the greats and all the wicked images online, and sometimes the images that are in between these portraits and stuff like that is like, it's almost like it's those images that really like go over time. Like those are like what like connect with people. So it's like what's beautiful about photography for me, or like what touring made me kind of try to appreciate, is almost like use your eye as a camera. It's like there's a photograph in every situation. Like that's it. I never used to think like that before a tour. Like, you know, it's just like when you read some blogs and just see like some images that like, just the level of insight that some images give you, like even just a photo of somebody's feet in the mud or in a hammock. You can say, I would have never thought to take a picture of this. So it's almost, there's a way to present every situation. And I think that's why, like, all right, this is like a little camera, but like, this is why I have so much value in like this. Because a big camera, sometimes you don't want to have it. It can like distract you from being in the moment and being grounded. And sometimes you don't get to capture that moment. That's why I really love this. It gives me an opportunity to like capture some things I wouldn't normally.
And be in the moment.
And be in the moment at the same time. So I think it gives me a practice of seeing a photograph in every situation. Yeah, so that would be, right. I guess that.
I guess the third one can be either video related or anything.
Video related. That's interesting.
Alright, let me kind of help you with that. Especially when you're doing a tour and you know it's probably the same set that is being performed at night, or change a little bit, but you still have a few tracks that would still be performed more than others. How do you still record those? Like at what point you realize, oh, you don't have to shoot this again because I did that last night or whatever?
That's a very good question, because video is a very complicated medium to work with while on tour. Also in shooting and in delivery. So it takes a lot of thought in. You have to think all the way to the end with like video and kind of say, all right, when I press record, what am I thinking of doing with this? And there's a bunch of different ways I kind of played with it. It took a lot of trial and error. There's like some tours where it's just like a bunch of video just kind of sitting on a hard drive. And back to what I was saying earlier is that it's all about, I guess so far it's all about the story. People hear the songs, people come to the shows, people know the songs. So it's building something of a narrative or something of value around it. So that's also the reason why I invested in this small camera, because I tried to, in terms of video, like there's two examples. For one song, we're going to shoot a video that is a tour video. But the approach on it wouldn't necessarily me being haphazardly shooting video. It would be more, we have different access to different spaces, or even for that example, like Can't Feel No Way.
Yeah.
Is that we have access to different spaces, there's a framing. So you're thinking for the end, so you know what you're delivering. So it's not like you're going to say, all right, make we just run up here and Protoje going up the stairs, I'm going to capture it. There's direction to it. So we say, all right, we're going to go here. This looks like a good spot. Let's do this here.
So there's a lot of pre-work, premeditated work.
Premeditated work.
Almost, I don't know if you have like a physical storyboard, but it's up here.
Yeah, so that is like probably for a video. The other deliverable that I find that has made the most sense or justice is probably like vlogging, which is, I find personally it's something fun to do.
Yeah.
So this is kind of more where you kind of haphazardly shoot. You say activities or like a set, you know, you can capture one song or another, and what you're doing is, or how I do it, I've seen many ways doing it, they're all like dope. But I guess like over a period of shows or a period of connecting things that happen, it's like probably a high point at a show, the build up around the show, and probably like build up to like other shows. So like I combine dates into like one video. So if it's Canada, Ray. So it's like you get the energy of the performance. So a viewer would say, oh man, I really would love to watch a Protoje show.
Yeah.
As well as saying, oh, this is so cool about Protoje's personality and things that can happen on tour. So that's how I approach it, yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this part of the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. See the next part. Look for the link somewhere. Maybe here, maybe there, maybe there. Who knows? But hey, remember to subscribe, like, share, and come on, leave a comment below. Take care.